So what is the best Betfair trading strategy? I'm going to reveal something in this video that comes close, but it's important to start the video by saying that, your role as a trader is to match the strategy to the market. For every market, there's a strategy, and every strategy, the market. And trying to find something that just generally works pretty well on pretty much everything is probably the hardest thing that you would ever do. So the strategy that I'm going to present to you here is something that generally works quite well in a lot of markets. It's simple to understand, explain why it's profitable, and easy to execute. And better than that, if you're a BetAngel customer, you can do it better than anybody else. So it's very easy to overcomplicate things when you're Betfair trading. Very often people turn up to a market and then they're sort of going, oh, let's try and understand what's going on within the market, and taking in all this information, trying to make a judgment, and they get chucked out the other side. And this is often an incorrect approach. But also when you're looking at markets, you've got many different types of markets, many different types of sports, and they all have slightly different solutions. So if you turn up to a market and then you try and digest what's in front of you and make a decision based upon that, it's much better to approach the market from a different perspective. You say, well, this is what I'm going to do, this is why it works, and this is how it's going to make money, and therefore these are the things that I need to be looking for. So when you look at different sports, you have different styles of trading. And when we look at horse racing, you'll have different markets appearing over the course of the day, but some of them do have themes that sort of run through them in terms of the way that they're likely to behave. So a maiden race with unraced horses is going to behave very differently from a very competitive handicap in a high quality race. So when you focus in on those perspectives, you can begin to adjust your style according to what you should be doing in each of those markets. But one thing you wouldn't do is the same strategy in both, because they're just going to behave completely differently. Now, when I started, my objective was really, really simple. And that was, I just need to get two orders matched. I was arbitraging between bookmakers and the exchange. I woke up one morning, put two orders on the exchange, and I thought, I wonder what happens if I do that. Hey presto, they both matched. I made money, and I thought, okay, I'm onto something here. So a lot of my objective is focused on how do I get those two orders matched? What are the things that are going to help me get those two orders matched? And I think people often mistake Betfair trading as a process of trying to understand exactly what's going to happen within the market, when really you should be just saying, I've got these two orders in the market, how are they going to be matched? And that's the sort of core of the strategy that I'm going to talk you through here. So yeah, if you're looking at saying, oh, which direction are the odds going to go into, or what's going to influence those odds, or should I price them up, all of those things, you can get really, really complicated. And sometimes it pays to keep things really, really simple. So let's do that. Let's keep things really simple and show you a trade that pretty much anybody can do. So when you're actively trading on Betfair, you're putting two orders in the market and you want them to get matched. And it could be that the back order gets matched first, or the lay order, and then you need to get the other bet matched within the market. But the strategy I'm going to show you here allows you to know exactly when both of those bets are going to be matched. And the way to think about this from a trading perspective is the longer you have two orders in the market, the more the trade could potentially go against you. Now, it could go for you as well, but if you're doing a long, big trend trade, you're looking to sort of lay something down here and you're looking for the price to go up there, that's good because the time is pushing you towards that particular level. However, if you're going for a much, much shorter term trade, you need to sort of be in and out of the market quite quickly. And that's what we're going to do within this particular market. But even better than that, this particular trade doesn't rely upon you knowing where the odds are going to go. In fact, when you open this trade, you may not have any clue whatsoever. However, that does allow you to set up a position that will allow you to potentially profit. We're just going to do it in a slightly unusual way. And that is that we're going to be putting in the closing trade first, which sounds a bit odd. And then we're going to be putting in the opening trade a little bit later. Almost the complete opposite way round to what you would expect. But the objective is still the same. We're going to profit by laying at a lower price than we back at, or vice versa. But we're going to do that in such a way that the market works in our favour rather than against us. You're not guaranteed to profit every time, but you should be getting a very high strike rate with this. And you can use the knowledge that I've imparted in other videos to give you a much better steer as to exactly how the market is behaving when you have this trade open or when you're waiting for a position to get filled. But probably the best way to describe exactly what we're going to do is to actually have a look at me using this particular strategy. So we're looking at this market.
we can see it's relatively range bound. And the reason that I can tell you that is because we can look at where the price is traded on the front three runners, and you can see that they're all sort of relatively small traded ranges. So this isn't a volatile market, it's a reasonably stable market. And then we're going to trade in and around that particular range. We're not expecting it to fly off in one direction or another. So let's do that. We're going to use £100 stakes. And the interesting thing is where I put the initial opening trade. So when I put the trade in, you'll see me put it at 3.8, and that is because there's not much money there. And you'll see this on the other side as well. I go down here, there's 300s, 400s, and I go all the way down to 3.3 where there's only £91. And I put the opening trade there and another one at 3.95. If you missed that, rewind the video, have a look at it. But what I'm trying to do is try to get to the front of the order queue with our closing trade. I know that sounds weird because surely you're supposed to open a trade and then close it. But what we're going to do is we're going to put our closing position in first and then our opening position in secondary. And what we're trying to do is get right to the front of the queue. Every time you put an order in the market, you have to wait for all of the stuff in front of you to get matched before your order gets matched. So what we've done is we've looked up and down the ladder on both sides and we've placed our closing trade in where we know we're going to be near the front of the queue. And the whole objective of doing this is so that we can actually execute the trade incredibly quickly when the price reaches that particular point. So let's wind the video forward and have a look at when that happens. So as the market matures, there will be more money in the market and it will begin to inherit a direction. Here you can see it doesn't matter what direction it goes in because we've got money above and below the current price. So it doesn't matter which way it goes, we're sorted. We've got a back order at 380. I need to lay at 375 in order to make a profit. The back order's been taken. I put my lay order in at 375 and there the trade is complete. And the unhedged amount that we've got there is £5 on this particular trade. Now, as the price is moving up, you can see we've got money sat at 395. So I need to get ready at 390. But there's no reason why you couldn't put another order in the market to repeat the same process again. So all I need to do here is make a decision on exactly when I click at 390 because we know we're going to get matched very quickly at 395. So my focus turns to the odds at 390 and when they will get taken and the price starts to push in that direction. At the moment you can see we're 4 or 5 ticks away, but I still have my mouse there ready to take advantage of that because I think this is the price point that is going to go next. If it went in the other direction, I would simply hover my mouse to get ready to back at 335 because we've got a lay order in at 3.3. But as it stands, I just need to make a decision here and when I actually click at 390. So when I'm pretty sure that that money's going to go, I can put my order in and you can see we're getting matched on the other side immediately. It's gone up fairly quickly to the next point within there and then we've been matched on that fairly quickly as well. So you can see we've narrowed that decision-making process down to when do I click? We don't need to worry about the direction of the trade here. We don't need to think too much about anything other than when is it going to reach those orders that we have within the market already. You can do this as many times as you like before we actually get to the start of the race, but obviously you need to do it in a manner that's safe, so that involves a little bit of timing and your interpretation of the market. And the final thing you should do is hedge your position so that you win whatever the result, and then you can move on to the next race.
So the ladder on this video is a fairly standard ladder. I've made a couple of minor changes, but nothing dramatic. And one of the reasons for sort of giving you a vanilla view of the market is because it's easier to describe. If I have to describe enhancements that I've made to the ladder, that would make the video sort of 2 or 3 times longer. And in fact, I did try it on this video. And when I looked at it back, I just thought, no, that needs to be a video in its own particular right. Because there are loads of enhancements that you can make to show you where the money is within the market and also the likelihood that you're going to get matched at a certain price and stuff like that. But really, I think that's deserving of a separate video. Let me know if you would like to see that. But you can go onto the forum where you can actually look at additional enhancements that you can make and download into BetAngel on the ladder. That will definitely improve your trading. Obviously, the user guide can tell you all about the ladder settings areas. There's so many settings that you have there. But if you go into this servants area of the forum, there's actually a servant that's dedicated specifically to this trade. So you should definitely check that out alongside this video. So it's important to understand with this particular trade that what you're actually doing is you're only gaining 1 tick at a time. So that means that your strike rate has to be very high in order for you to be profitable, because you don't want to have a losing trade go against you that will lose you many times what you could have gained and therefore leave you net negative overall. So part of your role in this particular strategy is to select a market where it isn't going to move dramatically against you. So if you decided to deploy this strategy into an early season maiden with an odds-on favourite and you get it wrong, that's going to, wipe out lots of small little gains. So it's important that you put it into a market where you're more likely to be able to get a positive trade. And, therefore you need to select the market, have a quick look at the market before you start trading it, identify that it is behaving the way you expect it, and then you can start actively trading. And of course, you can do more than one trade. And of course, you're not obliged to trade the favourite, because if you trade the favourite, the amount you make per tick gain is going to be much smaller than if you move maybe to the second or third runner within this market. So there are lots of opportunities there for you to do things that will enhance your ability to do this trade. But if you just go into the market at random and trade everything with it, then you're not going to perform particularly well. So put some thought and process into this before you do it. And the reason that I say that is because you're only going for one tick gains. So you need markets that are relatively stable in order to be able to pull off this trade. Don't do it in markets that are much more volatile, because it will not work. So yeah, there's lots of things that you can do. It's a very simple strategy. It's easy to understand. You can understand your objective. You don't have to rely upon direction. And if you've got BetAngel, you will be able to trade it much more effectively than other people. So yeah, this is one of the reasons that I recommend this particular strategy, because I think it's one of the best Betfair trading strategies that you can have, especially if you're starting out or you need to build a bit of confidence. So just take on board what I've told you in this video, select the right market, and there's no reason why you couldn't profit too.